Do not adjust your digital device. What you are about to see and hear may shock and appall you. Join our hosts as they encounter countless thrills, spills, chills, and hilarity as they explore the very weirdest in pop culture. The following media is so strange, so beyond the scope of what is normal, it will make you ask the question, why does this exist? Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Why Does This Exist? I'm Chris.
And I'm Rob.
And we have a nice little show lined up for you tonight. This is a music episode. We hope that each and every one of you enjoyed your Thanksgiving and had a really good time. We hope that maybe some of you chose to watch Thanksgiving after listening to the episode just to see if it was really as bad as we said it was. And, well, let us know if you were disappointed in the comments of YouTube, the channel, of course, Why Does This Exist? Let us know on the Thanksgiving episode and say, you know, that it wasn't nearly as bad as you made it out to be, or, oh my God, this was atrocious. Why didn't I listen to you? To do either of those things, give us a like, and we would really appreciate it. You can give us a dislike, but you'll never know how many people have chosen to not like our video, because the cockmasters at YouTube, they're just, well, they're continuing to be...
They're being cockmasters.
They're continuing to be masters of cocks. In other news, thank you guys again. This is a music episode. We're going to be talking about ArnoCorps. They are a punk band from San Francisco, California, that is Arnold Schwarzenegger themed. And by Arnold Schwarzenegger themed, we don't mean like an Austrian death machine where like it's just some guy singing it's just some band doing like a regular like thing, and then they have like little skits in between, or the artwork is themed and the lyrics are themed. No, the entire presence of this band is Arnold Schwarzenegger themed where the lead singer Holzfeuer is he sings in an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
Pretty impressive.
It's very impressive, actually. He might do some of the artwork too. But yes, they are a very impressive band. I think they're great. I don't even know how I discovered them, but I love this freaking band. They are the greatest band of all time, and that's not just their album. I love these guys to death. They're an awesome band.
Yeah, they're really good.
But before we get carried away with that, let's just do the usual spiel that we always do. We are Why Does This Exist? We're a podcast that talks about the weirdest things in pop culture, whether it's music like we're doing today, movies like we did last week, action figures, merchandising, all these other wacky things that someone's just decided to make, or even odd paintings, or just strange video games. Things that make no sense, that really just shouldn't even exist or shouldn't be here, but they are because somebody had an idea and somebody else said, all right, let's do it. That's pretty much what we're here to talk about on this show. We've been here, what are we, like 36, 37 episodes, and we've been here since the beginning of January. We've basically been going an entire year, so that's really cool. We couldn't be any happier for you guys to support us and listen to us and help push us up in the algorithm so more people find us and sharing our stuff. We really appreciate all those things. You can continue supporting us in the following ways. And you can find us on social media at twitter.com/WDTEpod. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/whydoesthisexistpod. You can also email us if you want to give us some tips or some feedback or let us know how we're doing, or if there's just something that you want us to talk about that maybe you've got an idea, you can do so by sending us an email over at whydoesthisexistshow@gmail.com. We also have our episodes, and we have some additional articles and things and other weird occurrences and weird things over at whydoesthisexistpod.com. And you can listen to us on the following places: Podbean, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Pandora, TuneIn, Alexa, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Listen Notes, and Stitcher. You can find us on all of those places and wherever you get your podcasts. And if you are able to leave a review, we would really appreciate it if you'd leave a review of our show, so that way more people can check it out, and it can just get higher. It can just get rated higher and higher, and we will be very appreciative. You can also give us some money, which I know it's tight. There's money around the holidays, and and inflation's probably squeezing your wallet harder than any hooker on Times Square in the bad old days ever could. But we really would appreciate it. You can like it. We've actually reduced and changed up our rewards, which I'll get to in a minute. You can do so by heading on to Patreon at patreon.com/whydoesthisexist. If you want to give us some money, you don't have to, but we'd appreciate it if you did. Of course, helps pay the bills, does all the other things. And at some point, maybe we can get enough money to make some merchandise and some t-shirts, which we would happily send to your way free of charge. But only if you've given us money, of course. You can also do so. You can also support us over on Podbean, because Podbean actually has like another patron program too with people who listen through Podbean. That URL is patron.podbean.com/whydoesthisexist. And the pledges are exactly the same for each one. So let me just read them off to you. For just $1, we'll give you access to the Discord server. As a little behind the scenes thing, we chat through our servers on Discord that we have created specifically for this podcast. Some of our other contributors are in here. We would give you access to that Discord server. So you can go in there, you can just share some links of some cool things. You can kick it around in the general chat. You could even throw in some ideas that you might have, or you could just or if you wanted to write for us, you could even just give a pitch for an article, and if we think you're cool enough, then we'll let you write it and we'll publish it. That's $1. You get all that stuff for $1. And
$1.
And we'll give you a shout out on the show, so everybody will know how cool you are and that you're such a swell person, like Larry and Steve, the best lawyers ever. If you're going to give us $5, then you get the same rewards as above. So you get access to the Discord server. We can publish you. We can do whatever. But we'll answer your questions, and we'll also take requests of topics. So you can pick anything that you'd like us to talk about. Like, it doesn't even have to be a full show. You could just say, hey, talk about trivia games or salt shakers. Yes, I'm looking around my apartment. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, we could spend 5 minutes just talking about that and just doing some mail stuff. And that'd be really great. We could do some mailbag stuff. We'd really appreciate you doing that. And we get all these other things out there too. If you want to give us $10, which that's a big ask, I understand, you don't have to do that. But if you wanted to give us $10, you get all the above. We'll answer your questions. We'll let you publish. We'll maybe let you publish some articles here and there. Or you get access on the Discord server. You can chat with us. But with the mother load, you not only will be able to give us a topic of your choosing to talk about, you will be allowed to come on the show and talk about this topic. So you give us $10, you get to be on the show. That sounds
$10. That's
yeah,
a deal right there.
it's a sweet deal. Not every week, of course, but $10, you get to be on the show. We'll let you know, but you just come handy with a topic. Plus, we get to answer your mailbag questions. Plus, we give you the shout out on the show, of course, and you get the access to the Discord server. You can chat with us, publish some of your stuff if you got a good idea. The world is yours. Now, that's the news. Here's the weather. You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge from a ragtag group of rogues. Let's get on with the goddamn show.
All right. ArnoCorps.
ArnoCorps.
So we said before, they're a hardcore punk band that exclusively performs songs centered around Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. And also, they, perform as Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And in more ways than one, because, you had said before that the lead singer sings in an Arnold Schwarzenegger accent, but they also dress up as, like in camouflage and stuff, as, a la Arnold in Commando or Predator, basically. Mm-hmm. And so they're fully into the Arnold thing.
Yeah, they're about as diehard Arnold Schwarzenegger as you could possibly get. I mean, I don't know if any have Arnold Schwarzenegger tattoos. I imagine some of them probably do. They're
probably.
I'm sure. Like some of them has to have like a full Arnold sleeve, but they're on Jello Biafra's, or at least they've been on Jello Biafra from the Dead Kennedys punk band. They've been on his record label, Alternative Tentacles, for a long time. They've been going for 21 years now. They're the band itself, like the band itself, is legally old enough to drink now. That's how long ArnoCorps has been a band, and it's just so damn funny. I don't know why, but for some reason they pretty much only tour locally or in the UK, and by the UK they basically only tour in Ireland. They've done some UK tours, but they mostly only will come overseas to tour Ireland, and they're only there like a couple of weeks at a time. Otherwise, if they're just playing, on the home field, they're literally on the home field and they're just playing in California. I would love to see them. I've only been to California once for like a work-related thing. Oddly enough, in San Francisco during a weekend when ArnoCorps was playing, but unfortunately, I had to leave. My flight was like I said, it was a work thing, so my flight was scheduled for Friday. ArnoCorps was playing like Saturday or Sunday, so I wasn't able to make it. But man, I would have loved to see them. They're probably the number one band that I haven't seen that I desperately want to.
Yeah.
Before I die, I would love to see ArnoCorps more than just about anything. I think the only other one is Behemoth, which Behemoth, for whatever reason, I am never available the day that they come here. So they're going to have to start working their schedule around mine.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see them live. Their live performances are pretty hilarious. I've heard like live recordings of them, and they're stage banter. They're all like, they speak like Arnold.
Yeah, they have like a weight set. So like the singers like doing bench presses during the solos and things like that.
Pumping iron.
Yeah, he's constantly pumping himself up. Or he's like constantly smoking a cigar or like smoking a stogie on stage. They have boogie boards that people crowd surf with. Like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, there's a video for the song "I'm Ballsy," which I'm sure which we'll play later. Which is basically like their mantra song. Where like you can see in this particular, like, it's like one of those videos where like it's half live and half like a regular video. And
Yeah,
one of the live parts, you can see Mick Foley is in the audience.
that's hilarious.
I don't know why he's there. I don't know if maybe he had like one of his stand-up things and like ArnoCorps was the opening act that day or what, but or if he was just in town and he just went to this show because somebody told him to go see them. But he's very clearly there.
That's hilarious.
It's just friggin' hysterical. So ArnoCorps they're an amazing band and they don't get enough credit for what they do. I think because other Arnold parody bands have come out since the time, but these guys were the originators of.
Well, yeah, and I think Austrian Death Machine, they were only popular because their singer was the guy from fucking
Lay Dying,
As I Lay Dying.
which that guy turned out to, be.
He murder for hire on his wife. So
Yeah, so I mean, if you ever want to bet a hit on your wife, maybe you don't do an Arnold Schwarzenegger themed band, or maybe you just don't put a hit on your wife. Maybe you just get a normal divorce like everybody else does. So no hits on your families. How about that? Can we make that a rule here? No, like I solemnly swear, Chris, will not ever put a hit out on my spouse or anyone else in my family for that matter, so help me God. Does that work? Or may I be struck down?
But anybody not in your family,
lightning.
They got to watch out.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the guy in like apartment, 3B, I'm just gonna whack that guy.
Great, now he's gonna listen to the friggin' podcast, and it's gonna be like a friggin' like Euronymous friggin' fucking Varg situation where he thinks that you're gonna make a snuff film and he's gonna try to kill you first.
I have no idea who lives in that apartment. Also, my the way that the apartment is structured, there is no like 3B or like 3C or anything. So
okay.
I have no idea who lives on any of these floors.
Oh, so it's a fake person.
Yeah.
It's a ghost. Hey, you fucking pissed off a ghost, though, so you better watch out.
All right. Well, maybe the person down the hallway. Is there really a person down the hallway, or is this just a bit? All right, fine. I don't have anybody. I won't pick anybody. There's no one on my hit list. I don't have a hit list. What's a hit list? Who's for hire? ArnoCorps is a great band. They not only because of the Arnold Schwarzenegger parody thing, but the songs are well structured. Some of the songs have gotten a little more metal in recent years, like anything on the last on the Welcome to the Gym EP, I think was the last thing that they did, which I listened to today while I was at the gym. Well, actually, I was leaving the gym, so it was more like a goodbye from the gym. But that was the last thing they did. Or the stuff from The Unbelievable, which is their second album that came out a few years ago. I mean, all of this came out a few years ago. They haven't done anything since 2019. For part of that is obvious reasons, because of what we're all dealing with now. But like the music is harmonic, and they have a lot of members in the band. Like they have two bass players for starters. They one of whom plays a piccolo bass, which a piccolo bass is a much smaller bass. Like it's a normal guitar scaled bass, but everything is higher pitched on it. So there's really great harmony there between the regular bass and the piccolo bass. So it's almost like there's a lead bass playing, and then there's the regular bass. So it's really cool, and that's what helps give them their distinct sound.
Yeah, their band, they describe that as heroic symmetry.
Yes.
All of their stuff is like heroic, or, they speak in ballsy accents is what they call it. It's their Arnold Schwarzenegger accents. I mean, it's a funny thing about the ballsy thing was when I first heard the song Ballsy by ArnoCorps, I'm Ballsy, I was like, oh, they probably did they write this themselves or something? And then I actually looked, and it was actually based on a real Arnold Schwarzenegger quote where he was doing an interview, and basically were asking him why he smoked cigars, or if his wife let him smoke cigars in the house. And he like literally says those exact words. He's like, I smoke my cigars in the house because I'm ballsy. I'm a stud. I smoke my stogies wherever I want. Like, so he literally, and they just turned that into a song. It was like just a interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and
those are the lyrics to the song. That's pretty much all of it.
Yeah, well, and most of the lyrics
the main
of the
chorus anyway,
heavily based on quotes by from our like Predator has like one of the lines is Dylan, you son of a bitch, what's the matter? The CIA got you pushing too many pencils. It was like literally the actual like quotes from the movie. The famous Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes, which everybody knows, the one-liners.
Right, like they're not just throwing, but like they're not even just throwing the one-liners out there. They're throwing like their lyrics are.
Well, they structure it so it's like a
famous dialogue.
Yeah, it's a mix of the dialogue with their own like thing, and it rhymes. So they have to they rhyme the dialogue with like lyrics and make it like all fit together, and basically just tell the story of the movie in the song.
Right. Like it's just so funny. Like even sound like, and they don't just do only the heroic badass Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. They do all of they do every movie. Like even the like the cringy and like comedic and like and like the silly ones like Twins or Junior. Junior is probably my favorite of the silly ones that they do, because like they do the labor scene too. Like there's starts pushing in the song, and he's like, I think I feel my baby. It's my baby. And it's like. And it's like
they also have Jingle All the Way, so yes. I mean, what Christmas music? There we go.
Mm-hmm. And like part of I was bench pressing today when I was when the Jingle All the Way song came up, and like it was very like I had to put the weights. I had to put the weights down, much like the cookie that you have to put down.
Put that cookie down now,
because he says that in the song. It's part of the lyrics, and he also like part of the chorus is naming all of the reindeer. When he's like when he gets by the cop and he has to like name all the no
it's when he's running to the radio station.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. With the cop he has to say the ABCs and then he has to say them backwards. Yeah, you're right. It's when they're running to the radio station and he's got to like remember all the names of the reindeer so that he can get the Turbo Man doll.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how they tell the plot of the movie through this song too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just cool.
It's like if you wanted to like not watch an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie but still wanted to learn the plot, you could literally just listen to a fucking ArnoCorps song, and it's like you
that
could
would
just,
be the clip notes.
Basically it is. You could literally get the whole plot of the movie just by listening to their music.
Yeah. I don't even know how I discovered this band.
You were the ones you showed it to me years ago, so yes. I discovered it through you.
Yes, that I know, but I have no idea how I found this band. I don't know if my friend Johnny showed me this band, or because I found out about them before Austrian Death Machine. I think I was the only person, and I don't want to sound like a smug douchebag, but I remember when Austrian Death Machine came out, and somebody was like, "Oh, it's so funny," and I was like, "This is like Arnold." I was like, "This is a bad ArnoCorps." Like, I liked Austrian Death Machine, but I was like, ArnoCorps is 1,000 times better than this.
Yeah,
like nobody.
I think they were first too.
ArnoCorps was ArnoCorps was like 2000. Austrian Death.
Yeah, and Austrian Death Machine came out in 2008.
Yeah. So ArnoCorps is like the granddaddy of Arnold parody bands, I would say, and the best one too. Like not only just the presentation and everything, but like the whole everything is just great. And they're still going. But
well, I mean, obviously Austrian Death Machine had to take a hiatus for reasons.
They're done. That guy's in prison, so
no, I think he's out now.
Oh yeah, he probably did do good.
I think he did his time and he's out.
Yeah, although
I,
you want to hear something weird? As I Lay Dying is a Christian metal band, is like a Christian death metal band kind of thing. So it's just like his whole like he's like very much like a big Jesus thing, and then he goes and puts a hit on his wife, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? I
well, I mean,
probably he probably
some
like
oftentimes the most religious people are the most hypocritical. So
yes they tend to be if you look at history, which is a it's weird. But yeah, that guy probably got out on good behavior or something.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, he probably just like like he was like a jack guy anyway, but he probably just like shut up and just worked out more and like read the Bible a bunch more times. So I mean, what else would you do if I was a Christian guy in prison for doing something anti-Christian? I would probably and I was already like in fantastic shape where I could be a wrestler. That's probably all I would do is just continue to lift weights and read the Bible. I mean, what else are you gonna do? I mean, I guess you have to stab somebody every once in a while, just to let them know that that they just leave you alone. But otherwise, I don't think I would really do a whole lot. Maybe you cause a mess in the mess hall. I don't know, or like you got to shank a guy when you're playing basketball just to like let him know, hey, I'm still playing by prison rules, so we're good. Yeah, I don't know, just have a tussle in the yard every now and then.
Just a tussle.
Just a tussle in the yard.
Just a friendly tussle in the
Friendly
yard.
tussle in the prison yard with other inmates convicted of murder, rape, and various other offenses. It's just a nice day with your pals,
Yeah.
singing songs and stabbing people with broken beer bottles.
I don't think they have broken beer bottles in prison.
They get them in.
Just the broken bottles, no, not the actual beer.
It's just somebody has a beer guy on the out. Somebody has like a broken beer bottle guy on the outside.
Just chips in broken beer
He
bottles.
just smuggles it up his ass.
Oh my god, that's. I don't want to.
It's just.
What if it like breaks more? Oh god.
1-800 Mr. Hands. Yeah.
Oh no.
All right, it's a cursed image. All right, we're going way off topic, but anyway, so ArnoCorps they produced their first two EPs in 2000 and 2001, and they just built like a little they got their fan base built up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and the first album. I mean, they say that this is a concept album. I wouldn't call it a concept album. I would say the whole presentation is a concept and every.
Well, yeah, it's a concept album. I think from the actual definition of a concept album, being an album that's just based on something in particular or tells a story. Like I would say it's a concept album just because every song is based. It's a concept band, I guess you could say, because they're all based on Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I would say a concept band, but I mean,
yeah.
I guess if you're a concept band, then by that logic, all of your albums are concept albums
By default, yeah.
by default. So okay.
The only thing is that they don't tell like an overarching story throughout the whole thing. It's
this is just a collection of various Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. So I mean, it's like it's some kind of like a chronology, but it's not in chronological order. At least I don't think that they are. No, they're not. Because I think the Hercules song came out later. I think that's a more
there's no chronological order to them. I don't think they're just it's whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, so they put out their first two their first two EPs, which is just EP1. They're just called EP1 and EP2. They put those two out, and then their album was released in 2005 called "The Greatest Band of All Time," which I had this on CD. I think I still have it on CD, but I also have this on vinyl because
Nice.
I loved this album so much, and I love this band so much that I was like, no, I will fully support them in every way possible if I can.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm gonna buy their music, I'm buying the album. I'm buying the vinyl. So I so I have that. I've got to pick up the other ones. I think I have the Ballsy EP on vinyl also,
Nice.
but I gotta make sure. I've also got a patch. I've also got an ArnoCorps patch on the suit jacket that I used to wear when we were Zamboni slash Nuclear Hatred, our old band.
Yes.
Still have that. I still have that jacket today. I'm never like it was like it was like a tuxedo. It was like a cheap tuxedo jacket that like was part of my work uniform when I was working at a catering hall in college.
Oh yeah.
On the back, there's a bong ripper patch, but like most people didn't see it because we wore capes too. Anyway,
I remember when you first that one show where you like first like it was like right after you quit that job, so you're like, oh well, I don't need this tuxedo shirt and jacket anymore. So like you just wore your like tuxedo shirt and you cut the like sleeves off, so you were wearing just like a shirt with like the bow tie and like no sleeves. Like,
yeah. Oh no, I didn't quit that job. I still like I was still
I
working.
thought you had quit. I thought you had quit because like you were like it was like you were like getting close to being done with college or something, so you were gonna just actually get a real job.
Oh no! That was the second time.
Oh, okay.
The first time I didn't quit, but they just didn't like. This was when like Hurricane Sandy came, or
Oh, right, and they
whatever it
had to
was.
close or whatever, right?
Yeah, they had to close for like basically like 3 quarters of a year, and like they didn't and like by the time like they had like fixed everything up because they were in like a zone 1 area, so like their whole basement got like wrecked.
Yeah.
So like they had to like redo everything in the place, and it was like gutted and everything, from like the bottom half of the place. So all the cocktail rooms and everything,
Oh
just
shit.
garden just got like ruined.
Well, they were close to the water, I guess.
Yeah, they were very close. They were like up the street. You could see it.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's so that like they were closed for a long time, and their insurance wouldn't cover it because the friggin' the cocktail room was technically like 2 or 3 inches higher or lower than it was supposed to be, where it would have counted as a basement.
Oh my god.
Did Yeah, there was some like, but this is how insurance companies make money by like,
That's true. They by screwing people.
yeah, or at least like your life insurance and your regular health insurance. With like dental and vision, not so much. But
Yeah.
you know the more expensive your insurance is, the more they only make money by not paying you.
Well, I know that goes for every insurance. Friggin' health insurance, dental, vision, it's the same thing. Every single one. Car insurance. That's how they are.
Right.
Trust my day job, I work with insurance companies all the time and they fucking go out of their way to not pay.
Ugh. All right, well,
Yeah,
that's
it's
not
fucked
good.
up.
Anyway, I mean, I work for an insurance company,
Oh well,
but it's not. Well, I work for a vision company, so it's a little bit different
yeah.
as my regular day job. I won't say which one, but but I mean, we're sent it.
Vision.
We're just like making sure that people go there. We're like, if you go to if you go to like a glasses store or something, the glasses stores are the ones that you want to watch out for, because it's not the vision insurance company that's doing it with them. It's it's
Oh yeah.
it's the eye doctor trying to take advantage of like billing the insurance company as much as possible. It's like this,
Yeah.
and like dental people are like that too. Where like the dentist will like go there and they'll like try to like bill the insurance company as much as they possibly can. For,
Well, it's like a game that they play with the
yeah,
insurance company.
exactly. I love
Basically,
to
it's
play a
because
game with them.
it's like because the health insurance does the same thing. You go to a hospital, you look at your like, if you look at an itemized bill from a hospital stay, they're charging you like $100 for an aspirin, and it's because they're charging your insurance company $100 for an aspirin. And this is why friggin' the healthcare system is so fucked up in this country, is because hospitals need the money from the insurance companies and know they're not going to get paid for a lot of the shit they claim. So they just jack up everything they can just to see what, basically throwing all the shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
They're just trying to see what they're going to get away with.
Right, because the insurance companies don't want to pay out and the hospitals don't want to, like, not get what they're supposed to get, So they were like basically like, oh, let's just friggin' jack up the price of everything because yeah, they might deny some stuff, but they might deny this, $1,000 MRI here, but they'll pay $100 each on these 10 aspirin that he took, so that makes up for it,
Okay, so that. Yeah, they got to do something about that in this country, but they probably never will. Anyway, again, back to ArnoCorps. So the greatest band of all time. I love this album to death, and I wish that I knew how I found them, but I just stumbled upon them somewhere. I don't know. Maybe I was looking at Dead Kennedys stuff, and I started looking into Alternative Tentacles records, and I found them on there.
Yeah.
Maybe. I really don't know how I found them. But
yeah, because they didn't really have streaming online. I mean, Spotify I think was kind of out at that point, but it was really in its infancy still.
Yeah, I found out about them maybe in 2009 or 8 or something like that.
Yeah, I think the only real online stream Pandora was out. I know for a fact. I'm pretty sure in 2009 or so.
That might have been the big one at that time.
Yeah, it was. And then Last FM was another one.
I forgot
for online radio. I liked Last FM a lot. It was a really good streaming service, and I discovered a lot of bands through there. Because you could put basically what they would do is you could upload your iTunes library, and they would create radio stations based on whatever you listen to on iTunes. So I found a lot of awesome bands through Last FM because it would look at what I was listening to on iTunes, oh, okay, well, if you like these bands, then you'll play like this, and they would play, so Blood Ceremony I found through Last FM, Jex Thoth. So there was I don't know if that was how you found them, because that was a really good way to find.
I don't think I did Last FM that much. I don't remember. Or maybe it was MySpace. Maybe I found them through MySpace.
MySpace, yeah, MySpace was still big in those days too.
That could
you almost forget how big MySpace was and how much of a cultural icon it was in the early 2000s, and really how it changed how how bands reach their fans and stuff like that, because MySpace, and some of the younger listeners might not remember or even know about MySpace if there's any young people listening, but it was
I feel old.
I mean, it's true though. Because really, that's around 2009, 2010 is really when it started to lose popularity, and Facebook really took over as the predominant social media.
It's crazy that company, that MySpace, is just totally worthless now.
I know. Well, it's awful. Apparently, there is another company that is trying to recreate MySpace as it was in 2005. And I forget what it's called. They actually do have a website up, and it's identical to the user interface is identical to MySpace in 2005. And you could do
Tom's House or something.
I don't remember what it was called. It's still out, I think, and I think they're trying to like build it up to like try to compete with Facebook, and Twitter, which good luck, exactly.
You kidding? At that point, like one of the two would just buy it just to.
I'm sure, yeah, and then just fucking like ruin it or shut it down.
No, they would just buy it to shut it down.
I think one of the best memes I ever saw is that we people like our generation, we forsake MySpace Tom and and went to fucking with Zuckerberg and Facebook, and MySpace Tom never spied on us, never sold our information to corporations, never tried to like ban people just for like saying what they want to say and stuff like that. It was like, we forsake that for like fucking Facebook because it was like, the interface was better and people didn't want to have to do HTML and shit like that.
Yeah, which basically destroyed the entire fabric of existence as we know, as we knew.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
All right.
We didn't know it at that time, but anyway,
of course
the whole social media rant I even went on is because I was wanted to say MySpace at the time was a really great way for bands to connect with fans and to find like I remember like finding like Lich King through MySpace and like all these like tiny thrash metal bands like all around like I'm pretty sure Bonded by Blood I found through MySpace like
I think I found them through there too.
and it was just a great way to like find small bands and listen to their music and a great way for bands to be able to give away their music and be like, hey, if you like our music, come see our show.
Right.
It was
you actually went to the show too.
yeah.
Like I remember I remember that there were shows where like I found out through through MySpace where and I would tell my friends, hey, we should go to the Third Rail, which the Third Rail, boys and girls, was what ended up being, I guess, kind of sort of the final resting place of the Lemoore Rock Club in Brooklyn. Um, Lemoore had been gone for some time now, but in its place in like the late '90s, early 2000s, the Third Rail Club popped up in the same area. They just they didn't really change a whole lot. It was the same structure, same everything, basically. Except it appealed to whatever the newer bands were, which you got a lot of in the time where I was going. It was like 2005 ish, so there's like some metalcore stuff. This was before there was like craptacular hardcore bands started showing up in the late 2000s.
Yeah,
like right when they were starting to to show up, and like once they showed up, like no really
deathcore bands and stuff.
Yeah, that's what it is. I like the death
the scene core bands. Is I think is the best way to say it because I think metalcore kind of got conflated with that a little bit in those days, and like everyone was like, oh, metalcore means you're like scene core, and like
no,
metalcore was
good.
Yeah, and metalcore had been around since the 80s. It was just like they called it metalcore, but it was crossover punk. It was thrash crossover was another one. Like it was like a combination between metal and hardcore punk. Right. And it had been around since the 80s, and like it kind of got co-opted by these like shitty bands in the early 2000s.
Yeah, which that club ended up getting closed down because of like shitty bands. Because for whatever reason, that so for some stupid reason, the people who were into the deathcore stuff, they were like these stupid like brosive douchebag people.
Yeah,
like they were these are the people who basically made like snapback hats or like broad brim hats like embarrassing for a long time.
Yeah,
it was just like for a long time there was like if you saw anybody who was wearing a hat like that, you would just like assume that they were a real piece of garbage. And that's mostly because of the people that were part of that scene. Now, before you say anything, oh hey, you can't be saying anything like that. That's terrible. You're like labeling these people. That's not right. Let me tell you, that club got shut down, and this happened this was a regular occurrence in that scene. Wannabe tough guys would bring brass knuckles to shows, go in the pit, and just hit random people.
Yeah. Yeah, fights were a big problem, especially because of the type of hardcore dancing they're doing, where they're like literally doing fucking like karate moves in the pit.
Which
it's not. I hate it too. It's like
nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, because I mean, they're hardcore dancing and moshing, it's a little dangerous. You could get but this was like intentionally trying to injure other people. Like It wasn't even it was a joke. It was like fucking ridiculous.
Right. It was, and I remember the guise of going to a show, or under the guise of liking the music, where like now you just ruined it for everybody in that scene. Like nobody wants to get involved with you. Nobody wants to go to the show because they don't want to get punched.
Well, it was a thing when I was in high school. There was a show which I wasn't there, but I heard through the grapevine after it happened that it was like a hardcore show and they were friggin' dancing, and I guess two people got pissed off. They got into a fight and they friggin' beat the one guy. Like a whole group of people took the one guy outside and beat him to like an inch of his life with a baseball bat. And it was like what the you're supposed to go to a show to fucking enjoy yourself and listen to good music, not friggin' get in a fight and beat the shit out of someone because you're fucking dancing like an idiot and trying to hurt people.
Yeah, that's just crazy. But like anyway, that's how that got ruined. But like the third rail was a fun little club. And we would just go there just through like MySpace. Like we would just find like local
Hmm.
MySpace bands and just be like, oh crap, they're playing a third rail. Hey, do you want to go to third rail on Friday? All right, cool. Let's go to third rail. And like it was fun. I never got to
Yeah.
play there. I practiced there a couple of times. I did have one show that was booked there with like my first band, but like it just we never booked anything. Like like the one show that we had booked, we never had a drummer anyway because the guy that we were working with, we were like, I don't know, I was being an idiot and we pissed him off. Because
Uh,
I made fun of his other band on MySpace in our
oh my god.
was a joke. It was like it was such a stupid thing. I made fun of his band's bio, like his band in our bio, and then like he like saw it and he like just he starts like cursing us out on our page in the comments, and then we start going back and forth with them, and then before you know it, I'm like, and then like I'm like, this is a total Curb Your Enthusiasm moment because like we're just like arguing random like obscenities to each other through a keyboard, and then like I call him later that day, and like of course he doesn't pick up, and why should he? Like, hey man, just letting you know, we're like we're like just letting you know, like we'll still be there on like Saturday for practice. All right, I'll see you at 2. Like just as if nothing happened, and of course that practice never got happened because like somebody else told me like, yeah, he doesn't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah,
So
that's fucked.
yeah, that was how I ruined my first band, everybody, by being an idiot. Um, but yeah, it was a third rail was a fun club. I missed times like that. I wish I had gone to more club. I wish I had gone to more shows. Uh,
Yeah.
Also, death to deathcore
To deathcore.
or life to deathcore.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's like not even a
It's
thing anymore. Like,
no,
really? Is
it's
there any deathcore bands?
not really. It's pretty dead, thankfully. Anyway, so ArnoCorps puts out this great album called "The Greatest Band of All Time" in 2005. I loved it. You loved it. Everybody loved it. And
Oh.
my wife Marsha, she loved it. And it was good. Everybody was good. Rest in peace, Marsha Zazula. Anyway, um, that show was great. I mean, that album was really good. They got like praised in a lot of British magazines like Metal Hammer, Total Guitar, and they also released. It was released through a British label in 2006,
Mhm.
and it like got mainstream radio airplay on BBC Radio. So they started like doing tours in the UK and Ireland, which they still would be doing to this day if we weren't in a pandemic. Um,
Yeah, I mean, they're still together. They're still listed as together on their website and on Wikipedia as
yeah,
active.
yeah,
I don't know, obviously, what they do for a living other than ArnoCorps. Um,
yeah. I think this
but
singer is like a graphic designer or something. I know he does something with the art for Arnold.
yeah,
Or I don't know if that's his like regular job or if he does it on the side. But he does. But they do so like I don't know what the regular jobs were, but of course they weren't doing like massive tours. I don't think or any like they weren't doing like 6 months here and there or anything. Like this wasn't a year and a half in the life of Arnold Corps. If you saw that, it was probably mostly like just dudes watching Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, going to work and then coming home. Not basically the opposite of the year in the life, a year and a half of the life of Metallica DVD. Um, but they got way over in the UK and Ireland, and they were also very over in their in their hometown of San Francisco. Then to fund the next project, which was the Fantastic EP, um, they they successfully funded it through Kickstarter.
yes.
And they've basically been they basically never stopped ever since. Realistically,
Yeah, I mean, their latest album they put out in 2019. I think it was like a EP or something. Um, so they've been active fairly recently. Um, just obviously with what's going on in the world, it's hard for any touring band right now to do anything besides put out. So I mean, hopefully we'll get an ArnoCorps tour again soon, and maybe another album or an EP or something.
Yeah, hopefully they actually come over to the East Coast this time so that you and I can check them out. They have six
Yeah,
members. That's right. There's six people in the band. Um, but also just like just a little like thing because of course they themselves know how silly the gimmick is. But they made these like claims of being inspired by ancient folklore and mythology, originating from the Alps of their native Austria, rather than like address that they were like just Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes in movies.
yeah,
Like so then like as part of a publicity stunt, they like accused several Hollywood movie studios with stealing the mythology of Austria for plot material. And in 2004, like of course part of the publicity stunt, they like attempted to launch a class action lawsuit against the studios on behalf of the Austrian people. The case did not go to court. Nothing else really came from it, but like it's just a funny little thing that they did.
yeah.
But I love this band. I guess I can. Yeah, I don't. I guess I'll read what we got on their website. This is their explanation. This is the. I don't know. Should like. Yeah, you know what the hell? I might as well just do it in like a really bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. I'm not really that good, but I'll do it the best and or worst if I can. Unless you want to do one and I'll do one. We'll do it.
I don't know.
There's 3 paragraphs here, so we could do it.
Where is it?
It's on their website. It's just arnocorps.com/recon.
Okay.
What the hell? They've got they have 9 members now.
Oh.
Yeah, according to their actual page, they have they have 9 members. That's like an Arnold Slipknot.
Arnold.
I don't know. They've got Holzfeuer, which is the singer, Velmir Kampf on guitar, Enzo de Barracuda on high bass, which is the piccolo bass, Udum Kriegtroll on guitar. I don't think that these are their real names.
Well, I would think so.
Eric Nagelbet. Well, that's his real name. On guitar. Carl
Dickschnur
on bass. Baron von Trotz on drums. Christoph Weizucker bass. And Gelland Adler on the drums, which that can't be right. Maybe they're like former people.
Oh, that says active duty members, though.
No, that's them. Wow.
But maybe they don't play they don't have the same drummer at the same time. Like maybe it's like one guy like plays some shows, the other guy plays other shows. If whoever's based on like availability or something.
Maybe. Oh no. I don't know. On the Wikipedia, Gelland Adler is here as a past member. I think Toten Adler was. I think one of the former bass players passed away a few years ago. But I want to say it may have been like Toten Adler, but I don't know. If that case, I could understand why that happened. Anyway, you got it on there?
Yeah.
We ready to do the recon?
Yeah.
Well steeped in the heroic tales of the Austrian Alpine forebearers, ArnoCorps channel ancient myths such as Predator, Commando, Terminator, and Total Recall through a sonic onslaught known as action, adventure, hardcore rock and roll. While many in the press have foolishly mistaken the Austro-Californian visionaries as an Arnold Schwarzenegger tribute band, ArnoCorps actually seek to expose the shameless exploitation of their ballsy folklore at the hands of the Hollywood hype machine. Through ArnoCorps, the world can finally hear these cherished legends in the way they were meant to be told, empowering listeners to unlock their own potential to become goddamn heroes.
I don't know if I'm gonna try. All right.
All right.
Although known for hurling volunteer audience members, record distances and crowd surfing on top of their guitar cases in displays of superhuman athleticism, there is no need to fear ArnoCorps' explosive performances. They are a rescue team, not assassins. The spectacle extends beyond the stage as attendees of ArnoCorps' fabled live audio assaults are frequently adorned in camouflage, face paint, and uniforms that rival the adventure-ready appearance of the band themselves. A welcoming and inclusive atmosphere greets newcomers amidst a frenzy of bonding and unity under the ArnoCorps banner of ballsy defiance. Experiencing the pomp is inevitable to crowd participation, including on-stage calisthenics challenges and impromptu any gender, any weight bodybuilding pose-down competitions.
While based in the San Fantastic Bay Area since the year 2000, and signed to Jello Biafra's legendary Alternative Tentacles Records since 2013, ArnoCorps' battle against cinematic ostroploitation is an international mission. The band have conducted headline tours of the UK and Ireland in 2006, 2008, 2012, 2014, 2015, 2017, and 2019, while extending their reach to mainland Europe in 2015. ArnoCorps have consistently garnered critical acclaim, including a perfect 10 out of 10 rating from the BBC, described as enough to leave Manowar sweating through their loincloths by Kerrang! Magazine, and praised as the most live fun show you could imagine by Metal Hammer. Okay. Yeah, this is a great freaking band.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so their other releases include the Ballsy EP, the 2001 EP, which is really just like a re-release and remastered and remixed tracks from the first two EPs.
Mhm.
Two more, which is a single. It's just like a limited one of like just the songs "Pumping Iron" and "Stay Hungry." So it's quite literally two more tracks. Which I believe Pumping Iron encouraged. Like I was listening to this too while I was working out, and the song is encouraging you to just do two more reps, basically.
That's hilarious.
And then you do the second rep, and then it's like, okay, one more, and they got me. I was bench pressing while this song came on, and the moment that song came on, the first chorus hit, and I was like, oh god damn it, now I got to do two more. So I did. And then it told me to do the one more, and I was like, "Oh no, you're not doing it. I'm putting this back." Then it's the Fantastic EP, which is great. The Unbelievable, which is the second album, and Welcome to the Gym, which is the last thing that they released in 2019. Hopefully, we'll get more stuff next year, since this year is pretty much over.
Yeah.
All right, let's start listening to some ArnoCorps songs.
All right.
Also, this is funny. If you want to buy some ArnoCorps merchandise, if you want to buy some t-shirts, ProWrestlingTees.com of all places.
Oh yeah.
Buy the ArnoCorps t-shirts. I don't know why, but it's for whatever reason. There's like ProWrestlingTees.com, wouldn't you know it, sells wrestling t-shirts and wrestling memorabilia. Who knew? And also ArnoCorps, for whatever reason they do. I'm fine with it, so go ahead.
I wonder if like the people at Pro Wrestling Tees like they like tricked them into thinking they were like a fucking wrestling stable or something.
I mean, maybe.
I mean, they have one of their shirts looks like it's like the Hulk Hogan like font.
Yeah, I mean they're probably
the Hulkamania font.
Yeah, they're probably big wrestling fans. I wouldn't put it past them.
Well, I would imagine so, because, I mean, they have a shirt that's literally Hulk Hogan's logo, pretty much.
Yeah.
It just says ArnoCorps.
Yeah, unless maybe that was, like, part of the requirement to, like, be on. And, I mean, the ArnoCorps other t-shirt is, like, similar to the Macho Man shirt.
Wow, so there you go.
Yeah, all right, so they kind of have, like, I don't know, maybe that was, like, part of the deal with being on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Maybe.
You gotta have, like, a shirt that, like, is a parody of wrestling to at least be on, like it has to have some kind of a wrestling theme. I don't know. But whatever, they're on there. That's where you buy their T-shirts. All right, which songs do we want to do?
Well, I think we should do on Ballsy, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. Let me share my screen with you. All right. Yeah, I'm Ballsy is the best one.
Ballsy. I'm a stud.
All right. Yeah, let's do the heroic montage. This is the video.
Yeah.
I'm Ballsy! I'm a stud! I don't take shit from anyone!
Can you hear this?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm a stud. I'm a stud.
Wherever I want!
I'm Ballsy, I'm a stud. I don't take shit from anyone. I'm Ballsy, I'm a stud. I smoke my stogies wherever I want.
You can really hear the punk line going.
Yes.
Kicking names and kicking ass. Let me get right and fast. Do
Yeah.
what I want, don't need to ask. I'm always first and I never last. Praying harder every day. Balls in the fires, all on display. All my dues are what I pay. So hear me now when I say I'm Ballsy, I'm a stud. I don't take shit from anyone. I'm Ballsy, I'm a stud. I smoke my stogies wherever I want.
See, that's what real men are like.
Now wiser and I'm older. Carry logs on my conscience shoulder. Scale a cliff, throw a boulder.
Scale a cliff,
Keep it
throw a
in my
boulder.
don't get closer. I live forever. I never die. The same with the rocks.
Smoke your stogie wherever you want.
And then you just do push-ups, and then you go back to like a big bump, and you play a metal song. And that's pretty much when you get up and you do it again the next day. That's what life's supposed to be.
Take shit from anyone. I'm Ballsy.
You have to be ballsy.
I smoke my stogies wherever I want. No matter what you do,
That guy's
there's somebody
really short.
always out there trying to control you. Hey, that's just an opportunity right here. An opportunity to express who you are and what you stand for.
Like, I'm short, but
So
I
we
didn't
want
know
you to
that
join
he
us
was
on this
short,
song
too.
now.
Yeah.
But only if you believe
If you just
these
work, all
words
of them are like giants.
So,
Maybe they're all giants.
Maybe.
I'm a stud. I don't take shit from anyone. I'm Ballsy. I'm a stud. I smoke my stogies wherever I want. I'm Ballsy. I'm a stud. I don't take shit from anyone. I'm Ballsy. I'm a stud. I smoke my stogies wherever I want. I'm Ballsy. I'm a stud. I don't take shit from anyone. I'm Ballsy. I'm a stud. I smoke my stogies wherever I want.
This is the video where Mick Foley.
Yeah, I didn't see him.
Yeah, I didn't see him that time, but I know he's in that video. All right, let's get another one out there.
Junior.
Yeah, let's do Junior. This is from The Unbelievable. I like how the album art is like kind of similar to Twins in a way,
Yeah.
which that's the one that's really good. My body, my choice. I'm gonna have a baby named Junior, boy or girl. baby. It's coming.
Blast beats.
Yeah. I mean, it's flavor. This is intensity.
Yeah.
And he hit the baby. Which, that's like a little, that like little, the xylophone thing is a nod to something from it's to the intro of the first album, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where they introduced the original, like, the original lineup
Yeah.
that's playing over there, and then, like, it goes right into, I think, Predator, I think is the first
I think so.
album.
Actually, hey, look, I should Spotify up right here. Look right. Yeah, it's Predator is the first song.
Yeah, all right. What's the next one you want to listen to?
Well, let's do Total Recall.
All right.
My name is not Quinn.
What about the album? It's just like a Mount Rushmore of all of them.
Yeah. With the chopper in the background.
Suddenly I see I don't belong. Ask about the future, don't know the past. Thoughts in my mind don't see the lust. My whole
this
life
follows
is
the
just a
entire
dream.
plot.
Now I know what they could all be. They want to climb the Mount of Oz. With wholesale memories, I'm in charge. Get your ass to Mars.
Get your ass to
Get your
Mars.
ass
to Mars.
to
Like
Mars.
planets being destroyed. That's actually what created SpaceX and all of these things. It wasn't like the planet's destruction. Like Elon Musk looks at ArnoCorps and was like, damn,
I need to get my ass to Mars.
And he does. Getting his ass to Mars.
When I'm on Mars, I'll find a source. Last resort is where I'll go. The 3 ladies, don't you know? You want to climb the Mount of Oz. Who's still memories? I'm in charge. Get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Mars. You idiot! You blew my cover! The killer song! Mutated and choose from a belly. Speaking from lips, you look like jelly. Thinking stupid is what I hear. From any the man who found me here. Their own trips, letting control. Screw you, man, that's a must.
Yeah,
They want
screw
to
you,
find the mouth of all. Still memories, I make sure. Go! See you at the party, Richter!
I love that. All right. What is that, 3?
See you at the party, Richter.
Right as Richter's arms get ripped off. All right. Do we
I haven't seen Total Recall in so long. It's a good one.
haven't either. I've never seen the remake.
The remake was not good.
Yeah.
Don't watch it. You're not
Alright.
missing anything.
Good. I didn't plan to. I've
The
seen
only cool thing about the remake is that they have like these like cell phones implanted in their like hand. So like to talk to the cell phone, you basically hold your hand up to your ear. And the cool thing is that if you press your hand up on a glass, it'll project like a FaceTime screen onto the glass from your hand.
That's kind of cool.
So that was pretty badass, but the movie was terrible.
Well, that's a shame.
And they don't even go to Mars.
What? What the hell?
Yeah, Mars is like not even in it. It's fucking retarded.
All right. Well, then I will skip that one then. All
Yeah.
right. Let's do one more song. Let's do I don't know. Last Action Hero sound good?
I like Last Action Hero. That's a good
All right,
one.
good. Yeah, I love that movie. It's so cheesy, but it's like it's the perfect mix between his action movies and his comedy movies because it's just both.
I've actually never seen Last Action Hero.
Oh, that movie's
It's one of the few Arnold movies I've never seen. I have to watch it.
it's really good. It's like such a meta Arnold Schwarzenegger movie because
Isn't he actually in it playing
Yes.
himself? Yeah.
he's not playing himself, but oh no, yes.
No, he does play himself later in
Right.
the movie. Like
He
that
does-
part I knew.
yes, Yes, towards the end when they're at the premiere of the next movie, he is like on the red carpet. Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, him. I think he runs into himself and he's like, "Wow, good costume" or something like that.
Yeah.
Like yeah, that movie's friggin' awesome. Anytime that it's like on, I leave it on. I love
I mean, like every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is freaking
I mean, pretty much. You get like
they're not like good movies, like in terms of like film. They're not films by any stretch of the imagination, but they're fucking awesome movies to watch.
yeah, they're no good. Like, I mean, they don't hold a candle to ATM or Thanksgiving, but like, but yeah, they're great. Like, whenever you see a Schwarzenegger movie, you just leave it on forever
Yeah.
because you can't go wrong with it. You really can't.
No.
All right, Last Action Hero.
Claudius, you killed my father. Big monster.
Yeah, don't kill somebody's father. Not
To be or not to be. Not to die. Long and the blood. Are you gonna snap your fingers wet? I ripped off both your toes, go!
that really hurts.
Don't leave me, we're taking it wet! You always what you make of it! You died so fast, this is no damn good! You will
No damn game.
It's a good chorus.
Yeah, it is a really good chorus. Good drum fill there too.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of fakers, go! Don't leave me, magic ticket, what? The world is what you make of it. You died store pots, this is no damn good. You alone, no. I am last action hero.
They have such a big sound.
Yeah. Oh, the two basses, like, really, like a wall of sound.
It's a bomb.
It is quite heroic.
And it actually sounds like, you would think, how can it sound good with two bass players? And it actually does sound good, it really works well.
Yeah, well, like I said, the piccolo bass, everything's higher on there, so it's more
Yeah.
melodious.
You're a hero.
Yes.
And you're a hero. All of us, we're all goddamn heroes. Let's sing it. We are last action heroes.
Just for that one.
We are last action heroes. 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 We are last action heroes.
I love this band. I love them so much.
Great. Yeah, they're great.
Go to prowrestlingtees.com and buy ArnoCorps stuff, or go to arnocorps.com/assets. Just buy everything that this band has. Make them cajillionaires. Like,
I want to like make another album. Although, they are eventually going to run out of material because there's only a limited amount of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
I know, unless they start talking about his political run, which
Maybe. The Governor.
I mean, there should be a song called "The Governor."
I'm the Governor.
Yeah, I'm sure they could find a few. I'm sure they could find a few things.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure they can pull something out there. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this was ArnoCorps.
You do Hercules in New York?
They did one actually.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they did do a Hercules song on I think on either The Unbelievable or Welcome to the Gym. Like one of the more recent albums is where they did that one.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, they're freaking great. I love them.
Yeah, they're a really great band. They're fun. They're just, it's if you want something that's like, just fun and not like not too like in depth. It's just like a fun like band you don't have to think about, and they have silly songs about Arnold Schwarzenegger or Arnold Schwarzenegger movies rather. And their singer actually does the accent while singing, which is the most important thing I think I've ever heard from a singer pretty much. So
it's very impressive. He said the Hercules song is on the Fantastic EP, by the way.
Okay.
But oh my god. It's probably one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen is just somebody being able to do that and then replicating it live.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the most impressive point out of like all of that.
And staying in character the whole time, it is impressive. It's performance.
Yeah, it is. It is a performance. It's just cool that they're able to do that. Like, I really appreciate that. Like, when somebody puts so much of themselves into a craft that they like fully love and believe in, like you get some masterpiece like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's just like such a cool gimmick, such a cool like. And I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like him or not, he's a big part of American culture.
I know, he's a cultural icon.
He is. He really is. He's a national treasure.
Yeah.
He's an international treasure, actually.
Yes. And he's the type of guy, he was an immigrant. He came to this country from Austria to be a bodybuilder, and like is proudly American. Is a naturalized American citizen now, and is very proudly is an American citizen. It's like he is described multiple times that getting his American citizenship was one of his proudest moments. And obviously I'm sure he has love for his home country of Austria, but he really is. He does love this country and all the opportunities it gave him. So, he really is an American cultural icon, like you said.
Yeah. And he's one of the few people. He's one of the few people who really got to experience the American dream. Like he came with nothing.
Yes.
A dream to be a bodybuilder, and he did that and so much more. He was the greatest bodybuilder possibly of all time, if not one of the great. He was the greatest bodybuilder of his time for sure.
I would say he's probably the greatest bodybuilder of all time.
Probably in terms of like just success, absolutely.
Yes. And one of the highest paid and greatest movie stars of all time.
Yeah. And I mean, people still buy his books to this day. Like, and he's anybody knows who he is. Like, my dad had, like, people could just bond over Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like,
yes.
Like, and oddly, and like, there's some things where like, it's just uncanny that like you just happen to find like somebody who has similar memorabilia. I'll give you two examples straight out of my life. My dad, when he was younger, was like he got really into bodybuilding. He grew up right around Arnold's peak, like right around when Arnold was like starting to become the big household name, in the late 70s, early 80s.
Pumping iron days.
Yeah, and my dad got like very into it. We've seen old pictures and everything. My dad was in like tremendous shape.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would enter like these bodybuilding competitions on the beach. He was like he was it was very like picture like a really jacked Jerry Seinfeld. My dad had this like terrible he had like the Jerry Seinfeld like haircut, and he had like the weird like half mullet thing, and he had like a unibrow. It's really embarrassing, honestly. But my dad looked like Jerry Seinfeld on his wedding day. Not on Jerry
That's hilarious.
Seinfeld's wedding day. That would be weird. I mean, he would, but like, I mean, maybe that's an upgrade. I'm not sure. But yeah, my dad was a bodybuilder guy at one point, and he still has Arnold's Pumping Iron book, and like he still has several of his Arnold books. But I think his main one, or his biography, or it's either the Pumping Iron, it's either his like bodybuilding book, which I think it's his bodybuilding book that he had put out like many years ago. He still has that, and my fiance, her father has like my future father-in-law has that same book. Now he wasn't as into like weightlifting as my dad was at one point, but he worked out, and he was like a big, like everybody loves Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I just think that it's funny that like both of them just happen to have the same, like that they just happen to have the same book. I know it's kind of a stupid story, but I just like they're the only two people that I've ever seen with that book. But it's just like you could very easily bond over, like anybody can just very easily bond over Arnold Schwarzenegger. And like her parents are,
Yeah.
they immigrated from Guatemala, and my parents have always been, well, my mom immigrated from Uruguay, and my dad's been here the whole time, just being a freeloaded of American society. um, and I don't know. I just thought that that was kind of cool. It probably doesn't mean anything, but I just always thought that was cool, and I would share that with you people. But like Arnold, he's like a nice guy.
Yeah.
There was a kindergarten cop like reunion that they were doing last year. I mean, of course, it was virtual, and it was like all of the kids that were all grown up and everything. I think IGN was doing it or something. And like Arnold he wasn't able to show, but they like he mentioned in the beginning, like, oh, they weren't like there was a big scheduling conflict. He wanted to be here, but like he couldn't do it, and they were like, I mean, and like nobody was expecting him to be there. Like nobody was like mad or anything. They were just like, all right, well, that it would have been cool to see him, but like. So like within the past 5 minutes, he's able to like log on for like 5 to 10 minutes. So he's on there, and he still remembers everybody's name. He's not like reading, like he's not looking at like a cue card or anything. He like is legitimately interested in them. He remembers things that they did or that they liked when they were children on the set of Kindergarten Cop. And he asked them about their parents, and he asked them if their parents still did, like these intricate details that only you would know if like you had been there talking to these kids. And he still remembered all these things, and he was like genuinely very happy to see all of them, and it was like, and they were genuinely happy to see him too. So like it was really cool. If you can find it, it's worth checking out.
That is cool. I mean, he was like seemed like a really cool guy. He's very big into like motivating people and like he does a lot of work with like I think the Special Olympics he's really heavily involved with, and like motivating those people for that, and it's he's just an all around good dude.
Yeah, he's a good guy who did good. I mean, not maybe not like maybe not the best husband, but
no,
he's not a very good husband.
No,
just ask.
But you know what? He's a model. He's a model American, though.
Yeah.
I would say. You know what? No one's perfect. Everyone's got flaws, so whatever. He wasn't the best husband, obviously, but still, really, really good dude.
Yeah, I would say so. And his son looks like strikingly like he did when he was younger now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really cool to see all that. But yeah, ArnoCorps. What more can you say? They're a band from California who models himself after Arnold Schwarzenegger and his movies, and and they've like just turned it into a whole gimmick where as long as he's still around, they'll still be around pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll continue to pass on his legend through their song. I love this band. I think everybody should go check them out. And I would love to see them more than anything in the world. Personally, I mean, you know what? I could probably still get them on the cheap. Maybe honestly, I would be willing to shell out money to just fly them over and just play a private concert for me and the 5 people who know who they are. I would be willing to do it. I would take it. I would have to ask whether or not I could take that out of the wedding budget. I don't think she would let. I don't think she would allow me to I don't think that she would allow me to book ArnoCorps for our wedding.
Yeah,
that would be my. You know what? That would be the perfect time.
Be the best wedding ever.
Damn it, this is my wedding gift. This is going to be the wedding gift. I'll tell her, hey, listen, as a wedding gift, can you book ArnoCorps for us?
Hey, you know what? And friggin' ArnoCorps would probably be cheaper than any other wedding band that you'd ever get. So
I mean, you're probably right. I should make this is a ballsy decision. I'm gonna have to make it now. All right, I'm gonna book these guys. Seriously though, I would actually really like to do a small private ArnoCorps show. So if you out there in digital media device land would like to get that together, please let me know. Please comment in the YouTube video, subscribe and like all this stuff. Please on the ArnoCorps episode, please tell me that you want this to happen and email us at whydoesthisexistshow@gmail.com. Please tell me that you want this to happen, that you would be willing to pay to get ArnoCorps to fly out to a location of my choosing and do a private show for us, and you'll be invited, and I'll have a guest list and everything, and we'll get you in there. But if that's able to happen, we need to see the money up front. We need the money. I'm not just going to shell out all of the money that I have to get them there. Well, I would like to. If you, the audience, is willing to come here and see the show, then you're going to help me fund this. And then we can all go. This is like the ticket episode of Rocko's Modern Life when he's got wrestling tickets. There's going to be a ticket for you, and a ticket for you, and a ticket for everybody. Now we can all go
to ArnoCorps.
to ArnoCorps. No, but only you. But seriously, if we do this, then you better be on board to help fund this. If you want it to be real, then if this gets 1,000 likes on YouTube within, I don't know, 6 months, if we can do that by, you know what, let's do it. If we could do this by next summer, if we could do this by the end of June 30 days of September, April, okay, yeah, all right. Sue me. I don't know how many days are in all the months. But if we could get if we can get 1,000, even 500, yeah, you know what? Let's do that. If we could do 500 likes on the YouTube video by June 30th, then I'll seriously look into ArnoCorps.
Booking them.
Yeah, I'll seriously look into booking ArnoCorps.
If you book them, they will come.
Oh, they'll come. Plane tickets. That part I don't know, but seriously, I would like to. I'll start looking into this if we can get to 500 likes on the YouTube video, and then I might have to start collecting, and I will do that by doing a Kickstarter campaign or an Indiegogo or something like that, and then if that works, then we'll get them out here. I'm dead serious. I would like to try to see if we can get them to come here at some point next year and do a private Why Does This Exist show for each and every one of you, and all of you who help, all of you can come. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Crom Strong
Okay.
Mountain. There we go. Book the match. All right. Thanks everybody for listening to this show and sticking around. I hope you had a really good time. And thanks for sitting here, hanging out with us, and listening to ArnoCorps. And like I said, I'm dead serious about this show. 500 likes on YouTube by June 30th, 2022. And we'll start looking into this, and we'll take this show seriously. I'll actually start plugging this on the regular so that we can get to that milestone. And then, we'll see about the Kickstarter thing. But let's do everything in due time.
Oh, and we'll sign the contract.
Yeah, we'll sign it in blood. Ugh. And sweat. Ooh, sweat.
Oh.
All right, I've been Chris.
And I've been Rob.
Remember, everybody, question everything.
See ya.